This is a lecture on the history of project management. This lecture was organized by Professor Frederick, Alemi, Lee Belton, and Chris Smith. This presentation is being narrated by Chris Smith. Ancient history. If we define project management to be the situation where a group of people and resources that have been assembled and organized to achieve specific one-time objectives, then project management has been around for quite some time. Examples of one-time projects requiring complicated management systems includes ancient wonders such as the Great Egyptian Pyramids and the Great Wall of China. These ancient projects have required exceptional planning, coordination of human labor, and allocation of resources. Both buildings were built using labor from hundreds of thousands of workers, both paid and slave labor. Management of the construction of the Great Pyramids and the Great Wall of China has the basic elements of project management. Both are examples for managing people and money. Both constructions are examples of maintaining schedules. Both require coordinating different groups to properly synchronize the technical and functional aspects of each element of the project. All of these elements are used in today's modern project management practices, but there is no evidence that these ancient projects use optimal scheduling of activities. In the 19th century, project management emerged as an important activity when commerce grew and became more complex. Large-scale government projects led to large-scale project management. An example of this is the Transcontinental Railroad of 1862. The Transcontinental Railroad is considered to be one of the first organized government projects that required large-scale project management. The project had its official start when President Lincoln signed the Pacific Railroad Act, which granted an official charter for the project. This charter authorized the Union Pacific and the Central Pacific to build a railway and telegraph line. The act granted funding and land to both railroad companies. The Union Pacific was commissioned to build west from Omaha, Nebraska, and the Central Pacific east from Sacramento, California. The following is an example of Theodore Judah's project plan for the Transcontinental Railroad. It shows assignment of tasks as various professions, as well as estimation of costs of activity. During the mid-19th century, the time of the U.S. economic boom, business leaders of the American Industrial Revolution found themselves faced with the daunting task of organizing the manual labor of thousands of workers and the manufacturing and assembly of unprecedented quantities of raw material. In the early 20th century, modern project management came about from different areas of application such as construction, engineering, and defense. The forefather of project management in the United States is Henry Gantt. He is known as the father of planning and control techniques because he created a chart showing complex project schedules. Here's an example of the original Gantt charts showing tasks done over various months. In these early charts, progress was shown by filling in the bars. Around this time, Gantt charts might have also shown milestones for completion of various tasks as triangles. More modern Gantt charts combine milestones, bars, and color in the same chart to indicate progress towards project completion. Another prominent figure in modern project management is Frederick Winslow Taylor. He was one of the first people to organize work as piecemeal. In this sense, his thinking led to much of the later developments in project management. Taylor, an associate of Henry Gantt, developed scientific theories of management. He studied certain production elements and how each task can be made efficient through the use of fine-tuning techniques. Before and during World War II, businesses used an ad hoc approach to project management. Gantt charts and other informal techniques were used to guide project schedules and resources. The early 1950s saw the beginning of modern project management. Two mathematical scheduling methods were developed. The first was Program Evaluation and Review Technique, or PERT, and the other was the Critical Path Method, or CPM. PERT was developed by Booz Allen Hamilton as part of the United States Navy's Polaris missile submarine program. PERT is a method that analyzes the tasks involved in completing a particular project. Each task is evaluated to identify the minimum amount of time needed to complete the total project. This is an example of a PERT chart. This is a chart of a 7-month project with 5 milestones connected by 6 activities. In this chart, activities are shown with letters A through F. The length of each activity is also given on the arc connecting the milestones. The milestones are marked as numbers 10 through 50. The project start is 10 and the project end is 50. This type of chart is called an activity on arcs chart. Other types of charts can also be drawn to show activities inside nodes. A major contribution of PERT was a method of estimating duration of an activity from optimistic, pessimistic, and most likely estimates of the duration of an activity. This allowed relatively accurate but rapid estimates. It opened the possibility of the widespread use of PERT charts. The critical path method, or CPM, was developed jointly by both DuPont Corporation and Remington Rand Corporation for managing plant maintenance projects. The CPM, or critical path analysis, is a mathematically based algorithm for scheduling a set of project activities. It uses the PERT structure to find a set of tasks that, if they are not done in sequence, the total length of project increases. A CPM diagram is built based on the 3 project elements. A list of all activities required to complete the project, also known as a work breakdown structure, or WBS. The length of time that each activity will take to complete, and the dependencies between the activities. This is an example of a CPM diagram of a construction project. Here's an example of the critical path method analysis of a construction project. The blue arrows are tasks that consume resources. The blue arrows also have the time required to complete each task. The dashed arrow indicates the sequence for each activity. In this example, the roof line must first be fitted before the roof timbers can be fitted. The circle's colors indicate the beginning, which is green, yellow for activities, and red for the end of the project. The critical path method allowed the selection of a path that would minimize the time to the end of the project. This allowed project managers for the first time to optimize a sequence of scheduling project tasks. This lecture continues in a separate set of slides. Part 2 of this lecture focuses on recent history of project management.